Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is a quick review of what we've done so far, and then we're just going to keep adding to it. Okay, there we go. There. Okay, so the first thing that we've done, right, like we started off with those bass notes, and I cannot emphasize enough the importance of making sure that your thumb is comfortable with all this moving with this finger picking. So what I want us to do to start is we're going to break it down with our review, and we're going to just play our 6th string, 5th string, 6, like just do all the bass notes. When you're doing that, focus on making sure that your thumb is going like this, a nice little circular motion, okay? So let's just go through that, okay? So 6th string. And you can see I've got my picking fingers anchored, just sitting here, okay? So let's keep on going. 2 more bars of that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to our 5th string. 2. So I'm watching my hand too, hey? And I'm making sure that the way my thumb is moving is not like this. Sometimes I see people do that. You want to have it straight and strong, okay? So 4 more plucks of that. Okay, now back to your 6th string. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're down on that 2nd fret of our 5th string. So I'm using my pointer finger because I know I'm going to need that for what's coming. Again, straight and strong with that thumb. And then to open, 5th string. Okay, and then to 6th string. Okay. Now what I want to do, as we're just, again, doing a review, I want you to do that full plant idea, okay? Get your fingers there and just watch your hand. We'll just do all opens to start. Just going to watch your hands. Just like that. Plop them back down. It's kind of like doing, I don't know, running stairs or something. One more. Now we're going to start letting go of it. And what I mean by that is I'm just going to move my chair closer, use it as a footstool, and show you guys what I want you to do now. There we go. Okay. So I want you to do this now. It's going to be 6 plucks per. Strings are going to be 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now what we're going to do is we're going to start crawling up. We're going to do scales in a way that I love to do. So 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 is our picking pattern. Now we're going to play our 2nd fret on our 1st string. Still with that same picking pattern. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. One more time. Now up to our 3rd fret. You can use different fingers if you want. One more time. Okay, and then the 5th fret times 2. Seventh fret times 2. Okay, and then we're going to do 8th fret. Oh, I like that tension. 10th fret. Okay, now go down to 8, find yourself there. There we go. Then 7. Then 5. Three, 2, now open. One more time, and then we're just going to pluck the 12th fret. Now I'm going to play it a little bit faster for you guys so you can hear how. I'll turn a little bit. There we go. So I'm always plucking a little bit harder with my ring finger, hey? That can be tricky. You can do it slower and use, you know, a more dominant feeling finger on there. But once you get comfortable with it, then you know how I'm always talking about, like, make your own studies, play with these scales, do all sorts of stuff. Well, here's another one to do that with. And I'll write down the fret numbers for this. So this is a bit more of a classical guitar component of our finger picking stuff, because we got to have classical. So that picking pattern, 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, combined with that particular scale, which is the natural minor, which I think everyone's heard me going on about at some point over the past year. Those two things combined do a couple of different things. They're working, ignoring that finger, they're working these guys, right? Or if you're not quite there yet, you're working your thumb. But if you can practice the full plant as the first component, and just leaving the thumb on that 6th string for this particular one, then when you're ready, then you don't plant again, you just have them hovering. Then the next step is to play that scale, like I say, up and down the fretboard. I will write it down. I'll just, you know what, I'll just plop it down on my whiteboard somewhere so it's there, so it's part of the recording. And that particular way of playing, like, I know it's all like super classical kind of sounding stuff, but it's some of the most delightful times, right? Because you just write your own music that way. I'm just going to turn this. There we go. I think that's kind of lined up. Something's not quite right with my angles here, but we'll just go with it. All right. So if you're making notes, those fret numbers on the first string are 0, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 10, 12. And I'll write down the picking pattern underneath. 6, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then to make sure it's easy to see, I'm just going to hold it up here for a second so it's part of the recording, okay? Whoa, there we go. So that you can see those numbers. And you don't have to be super fast, you know, but you just want to play with it, enjoy it. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do, so we've warmed up our thumbs by going through and playing that 6th string. And then I went and started talking about the whole full plant idea. So now I feel like our fingers are pretty warmed up at this point, is what I'm thinking. Let's go through the melody, then we'll harmonize that melody, then we're going to add more and more to it, okay? So I'll get all cozy again here on my chair. I can't show you guys the way I sit. I'm awful. I contort myself like a teenager, I think. All right, so here we go, 2nd string. Now I'm just going to pluck with one finger, right? So 0030. And if you're already comfortable doing the pinch with the 6th string open there, then toss it in, okay? Now the 1st string. 5, 3, 0, 0, back down to 2nd string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm just going to move a little bit here. Onto the 1st string here, 2nd fret. Then 1st string open. 2nd string, 0, 0, 3, 0, 1st string open. Okay. That should be a little easier to see me. All right, now we'll go through and I'm going to play it again, but I'm going to add in my bass notes all the way through. I'm just going to be doing this. I might use my middle finger for some of them, but I'm probably just going to stick with one finger and my thumb. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Opens. 2, 3, next line. Now in the 2s, and then the opens. 0, 0, 3, 0, 0. Now I'm going to do it again. We're going to add in, do you guys remember the harmony that we added in? So we turned it into suddenly turned it into a totally different sound, right? By adding in the 1st fret, right? All the way through there. So as we go, I want you guys, if you're already comfortable doing this, then just run through that, adding in all those extra notes. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is I'll play through it now with the 2 notes together, plucking everything with my thumb and my 2 fingers. And then the 2nd time through, I'm going to split it up and go fingers, thumb, okay? Here we go. On my E, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, next line with the open and 2. To 5. Back to the E pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the 2s and the opens. with the open and the second fret there. Back to the E pattern with the open and 1. And now I'm doing that full plant pluck. I'm just doing that. So I'm hitting my open, 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 1, and open. Okay, let's do it again. I'm going to split it apart. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So fingers, thumb. I'm just going to keep it 2, 3, 4 on my A now. Back to my E pattern. 2, 3, 4 B pattern. A pattern. E pattern. 1, 2, again, go. A pattern. E pattern. 1, 2, 3, B pattern. All right, so I want to stop right there and just kind of reconnect with you guys because I've just been pushing along through there. I want to know how did that feel? Like, were you able to run through and split? I know I swung at that time, so I'm wondering how you guys have been feeling with playing it fingers, thumb, fingers, thumb. Any observations? Anything? Like, now's the time, like if you want to put something in the chat, or if you want to unmute yourself and ask a question or say something, go for it. I'm just gonna have a sip of coffee and give you guys a second. How long ago did I pour that coffee? It's totally cold. It's gourmet. Oh, Julie, you do fine on the first line and then you lose it when we go to A. You know why? I can tell you why. It's probably that 5th fret, isn't it? Is it that big fat stretch? No? Tell me where is it? Is it right when you move to that 2nd fret? Okay.
It's hard to keep that alternating when I make that move.
Okay. So can you make that move with the open strings there?
I think it's just that I've done the first line so much and I've got that down, but then it's like I probably need to just take that 2nd line and do it over and over.
Well, you know what? Let's do that together right now. What I'm going to do is I'll stand up and have myself a little closer to the screen. And sometimes what you need to do is take a look at, watch your hand and see what sort of movements you need to do to make it as effective as possible. And that's kind of weird, right? Like, it kind of steps outside of it being musical at a certain level and it becomes physical movements. So I'm just gonna do this. Sorry, it's kind of rattly clattery here today, hey? There we go. Okay. So I'm going to come at it from the first line, those 4 opens. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you practice that a couple of times, just getting the open and 2, and just watch your hands. So fingers are away. 1, 2, preparing, 4, pluck. In fact, you could have this chord, you could have the O and 2 down while you're hitting those open 4s if you want. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that preparation of movement can be kind of handy. Now I can tell you, when I hit the 3rd fret here, my middle finger is not comfortable hitting that 3rd fret most of the time. I think my hand is not big. So I wind up, watch how I play it. I use my ring finger there. because this stretch doesn't feel good. So be aware of, like, now Julie, I know that your guitar is smaller than this one because you got a baby Taylor, so that positioning may be comfortable for you. This hand's pretty damaged, right? So I'm always looking for ways to make sure it doesn't hurt. So I use my ring finger there. And I kind of swing my hand in there, and you can see that I do straighten out my baby finger quite a bit to reach that 5th fret. And that hop back to that 1st fret feels like about a mile sometimes, right? The 2 to the 1. So for me, spots I isolate is that 1st beat there, the physical movement of getting that, and keeping in mind that you can just play the 5th fret if you want. You don't have to hit the chord there. And then this hop back to that E, that's where so I'm going to play that bar, or that line again. I'm going to hit the 4 opens again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm watching my hand. So you'll totally get it if you've got that 1st line memorized, but those are my weak spots for that 2nd line. I wanted you to see exactly where I need to work. All right, so I'm going to play it all over again. And I'm going to split it apart again. And then we're gonna horse around with some of these opens in here. And hammer-ons. We talked a bit about hammer-ons last week. So up next on the buffet, a bit more hammer-ons and some bassline stuff. Okay, so let's do it again. And I'll play it together and then split it apart again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Splitting up. So now I know things we talked about last week, playing the 1st beat together and then splitting up the remaining 3. So you've got like a ta, T, 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 or ta, T, 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 T. I'm going to try to do that purposefully down here on B and A. Okay. And just a quick check-in about the hammer-ons that I talked about last week. Were you guys able to get any of that hammer-on happening in there? Kind of, sort of, yeah. Yes and no, yes and no. Okay, we're gonna isolate that a little bit too. So first thing is changing that rhythm here and here. I'm also going to reflect that now. So I'm going to do a boom, or like a ta, t, 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 ta, t, 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 t there as well now. Okay, same thing here. So at the end of each line, ta, t, 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 t. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'll slow it down. 3 and again. Ta, ti, ti, want to do a ta there. Let's do a ta there too, okay? Ta, ti, 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 ta, ti, 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 ta. Rhythm, rhythm, rhythm. I mean, there's so many different things you can do. Now, I know that the whiteboard sheet I gave you guys last week, I'd written in all the, you know, split it apart and all that sort of stuff, right? What I want to do is add some bass notes in here. Okay. What I'd like to do, like here, we can add something in called a leading tone. So leading tones are notes that are going to lead you, push you in a stepwise progression up to the next chord harmony, right? So instead of O, 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 O there, just try O, O, 3, 4 as an alternative, okay? You do not have to do it. This is just part of the buffet, right? You grab what you want, right? So I'm just going to write it underneath that. O, O, 3, 4. Just try it on a little bit there and see how it feels. We'll just start grabbing little spots there to add things. O, O, 3, 4. It's got a cool sound. And just keep it straight. So let's do the, I'm going to play through just the first two lines now, adding in that O, O, 3, 4 part, okay? I'm just going to play it all together so that we can just focus on that. Here it comes. O, O, 3, 4. That's kind of cool, hey? And then O, O, 3, 1. Okay, let's do that again and just feel it. Feel it, see how it goes. One more time. I'll count us in this time rather than just bursting into it too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go with the O, O, 3, 4. O, O, 3, 4. Big stretch over to your A. So, we'll just keep on going here because this is so much fun to play. That little leading tone there, that little set there could be a lot of fun just to add in, but you can decide, right? I'm going to sit and play through it now. Swing it, I'm going to add in the leading tone there, and I think yeah, let's add in that too, okay? Let's just do that. So I'll play it. I'll show you what I did. I'll talk because I always talk. But it's down here in the B section. I go 2, 2, 2, 2, 1 down to A, and you get this. You gotta hop though. Okay. But you know, play around with it. Try it right now. Just do this. Go 2, slide everything back down to 1, and then A. Maybe for that first beat of A, if you're doing that transition, something you may have to do to get that color change comfortably, that 2 to 1, you may have to get rid of that 2 on the first beat of A so that you can move comfortably. Just be prepared for that, okay? So what we're adding in there, 2, 1. I know how I'm going to do it. Just hang on here. I'm just kind of thinking it through here so that it's not a big change to start. We may just have it right on that beat. Let me play through it and see what works, okay? The buffet is my favorite part of these things, I think. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I think that if we just emphasize it and just have the 1 right there on the 4th beat, so you don't have to worry about doing a really fast change there, I think would make it a nice alternative. And it doesn't mean you have to do it, but it's worth playing with it. So that would be a sub out on beat 4. And you might not split it apart. You might. Depends on your mood, right? Depends on how you want to play it. So I'll try to tidy this up a little bit, and you guys just run through it, play around with it. In the end, keep in mind, we're all different people. We're all going to play this a bit differently. If we all got together, it would all sound a tiny bit different. So my suggestion, if you're playing the first beat there, is to just play the original part of the A, where you're just playing the 5th string and the 1st string, so that you give yourself a moment to put down that, but you do not have to, right? You might be comfortable just hopping onto it. Then after we do this, then it's time to really horse around with some little hammer-ons, and that's going to be.
Tina, could you go over that last part again right from scratch?
In the B section? Yep, with that. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'll just do my little circle in here, and then I will, I'll just run through this line a few times. So in terms of subbing out beat 4, instead of playing the 2nd fret, what we can do is play the 1st fret as a way to add some chromaticism. So it's going to sound like this. Okay, so you can split it apart. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3. Or you can just play it as straight quarter notes. But the motion, if you think about it, breaking it down just to this, you've got the 2s on beats 1, 2, 3, and down to 1 on beat 4. And then the opens for A. So if you just have just the shell of it, just the strings 5 and 1. It sounds so cool hitting the 1, eh? Oh. Gives it just a bit of a different edge. We need to work on hammer-ons too, you guys. And then I feel like our buffet will be really just kind of rocking around for this sort of stuff here. So hammer-ons, what I want you guys to do is let's practice it on the 6th string. Okay, 'cause 6 strings nice and fat, and it's easy to get it vibrating. So just to feel that technique, I want you to play your string open, and then because of what we're doing in the song, I want you to use your pointer finger, getting good and close to that fret. Open, and smack that finger down good and close to the fret. Sometimes what I see people do is this. I'll show you the things that'll make it not go so good, and try to have a checklist in your mind to not do that. Flat finger. It's hard. You need to have the tip, because that smaller area gives you a little bit more pressure on the string. That said, there's always going to be someone that can hammer on real nice with their finger pad, but that's not me. I need my fingertip close to the fret. The pressure of pushing the string down onto the fret will help it vibrate. If you're back here, you have to work harder. You don't want to work harder. Oh my gosh, you're working hard enough already, right? Good and close to the fret. When you do your hammer on, you can wait and go. But what you want to avoid is slowly touching the string, because as soon as you can hear it, right, with that 6 string. That's why the 6 string is good for practicing this. You don't want to just touch it. You don't want to slowly move to that hammer on. You want to wait. When you're ready to go, like a pecking bird. I often think about like a pecking bird. It waits and then boop, grabs a seed, right? But stays down. You want to keep that pressure down. Like that, okay? So use that 6 string as a way to practice. First fret is where we're doing that hammer on, and that I realize there's more string tension there. Oh. Jaws. When you feel comfortable, go to your first string, or sorry, pardon me, your 3rd string, and do a hammer on the 1st fret there. And you can see your hand position changes, right, as you move to those middle strings. So be aware of that. And when you do that hammer on, you're going to wind up doing it fairly quickly, because it's decorating the 1. It's just like that. So it's a quick little, like you hit the open by accident. You got to smack down your 1st finger on that 1st fret before I notice. When you feel comfortable with that, next step is to have the 2 fingers there. And if you wind up pushing your finger down so that it covers the 2nd string and kiboshes that sound, don't sweat it. You know, what you want to do at this point is get that hammer on feel. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to play this 1st bar. That's it. And I'm going to play it with everything together. And I'm going to just work on that technique just on the 1st bar. Okay. So I'm going to do the hammer on, and I'm going to go slow and just cycle around that bar so you can feel it. 1, 2, here we go. Hammer on. And again, ready, go. Hammer on. One last time. Here we go. Does that help with I hope it does. When I first learned about hammer-ons, the only way I could get any sound was on my electric guitar with the amp just cranked to maximum, because I didn't know about using my fingertip, being close to the fret, nothing like that. You know, I didn't get it. So it took a while, but you get it eventually, you know, and then when you do, oh, so much fun. Okay, now I'm going to play this whole thing. And what I'm going to try to remember to add in is my leading tones to my A and my hammer on. Okay. Survey says, should I split it apart and do fingers and thumb, or just keep everything together right now? So together, thumbs up. Split it apart. Thumb, okay. You know what? Together and then sorry, together and then apart. I'll just play it twice. Okay, here we go. So with the hammer on, get ready. 1. Oh wait, I just see a chat. Sorry guys, hang on here. Oh, no, it's good. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hammer on. And I'm going to do those leading tones. O, O, 3, 4, stretching over to my A. And I'm going to try another hammer on. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to hit the ones here too with this B section. It's a lot to think about now, hey? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to play it together again. Here we go. Hammer on, ready, go. Leading tones. O, O, 3, 4. Reach for my A. Another hammer on. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The 2s. Down to 1. Split apart. Here we go. You know what? That wasn't fair. I want to give you guys a bit more of a lead up there. 1 and 2, and here we go. And hammer on. Leading tones. 2, 3, 4 to your A. Hammer on. 2, 3, the 2s. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to sit and play this thing for you guys. I'm going to start with just the shell, just 6th string and 2nd string, all that sort of stuff. And then I'll play with adding in the chords, then I'll split it apart, and I'll keep adding things so you can hear, you know, and you're just walking down a buffet. You decide what you want to do, right? Okay, here we go. I'll see if I can do every level that we've got so far. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to split that part apart, okay? Ready? So I'll run through it once like this, then I'll split it apart. Here come the twos. Two, splitting apart. Now I'm going to add in just the leading tones on this one. I forgot the one. Hammer-ons. So that's just one level after another of things you can do. Your rhythm, like on these little fills and stuff, I mean, you can play it all straight as taws, right? All the way through. Ta, 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 ta per bar, split it apart. T, 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 T. But you heard me play in there where sometimes it was ta, T, T, ta, T, T, or ta, T, 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 T. You decide what you want to do with it, right? Every time can be a tiny bit different depending on your mood, depending on how much coffee you drank, depending on whether or not someone dropped off cake for you. Everything's a little different. So for this week, when you're playing, leveling it up like I just did, have it as just the basic part, and then try splitting that apart, because that's something we didn't do, so try that. Then add in that harmony, right? Turn it into this nice little double stop picking, play it together, split it up. Play with your rhythm, make it your own thing. And just because I'm focusing on having a hammer on there and there doesn't mean you can't add on more. I've just given you those two places to focus on a bit. And maybe the hammer-ons work, and maybe you don't really feel them yet, and that's okay too. It's up to you guys, right? The color, those leading tones that push you into the next part, I really like that one, the 0034. I think it sounds so nice. I do like the melty sound of the first fret, but that one's a bit more of a challenge, isn't it? Getting to the A pattern there. So that might be something where you have to practice just those two bars a few times, that movement, right? Can you guys think, like, are there any questions that you have? Or, because I'm feeling pretty good. That leading tone is a bass line. Yes, it is a bass line. There's so much more to add, but it's a chunk at a time, because if you do too much, then it just becomes, you know, overwhelming. But with each beat, it's funny how I visualize this stuff. I picture like recipe cards, right? All lined up, you know, and you can pull one out and put a different one in the slot. And you decide what you want, right? What rhythm, like play the notes together, play them separated, whatever you want to do with them. And it's just, oh gosh, it's so much fun. So yeah, bass tones after bass tones, probably where we're going to be heading with this sort of stuff. These little bass lines. I've got a lot of them. I've done a ton of research for doing this beginner's finger picking thing, because it's my thing, you guys. I love it. So be ready. I'm gonna call it quits. I think I'm gonna stop the live stream. So, okay.